Good. So welcome everybody. So, so much to cover today. Um, I think we'll begin. We'll just kind of settle in first, coming back um, into this room, into wherever you are, just finding a sense of inner calm and inner peace. And we can begin. Today, we're going to begin fairly quickly in our talk at the very beginning of our session. I would like us to explore awareness and presence today. Meditation is a lifelong journey, and it is important to, as you step into this space of self-development and self-discovery, it's important to recognize that it is a journey and it is not a destination. And there will be moments when your meditations are deeply profound and awakening, and then there will be other moments when your meditation is about distractions or noises. And can I not fight what is? Can I just accept what shows up? Can I enter this room, this moment, this space, this next breath with a sense of presence and acceptance of what shows up and what is here? Accepting what shows up. That's an exploration to also keep in mind today when we are exploring our sense awareness and sense of presence as we enter meditation. To accept what shows up. If in the moment thoughts arise, if distractions arise, allowing them to be. This week, my main inspiration is I read a great article from tricycle.org. It's a Buddhist website and a Buddhist magazine, excuse me. And they had a great article, and I want to read a little piece from it and give you the title, and you can also find it for yourselves online, which I think ties up with my whole conversation today on beginning the journey towards awareness and presence, but also accepting what shows up and accepting what is here. So the name of the article is Being Content with What We Have. And the author's name is Paley Ellison. And this is from tricycle.org, and it was published in the summer of 2019. And this is just a quote from that article. At the Zen Center, we have a few beautiful tea bowls made by a Japanese potter, all of which are chipped now because people wash them and stack them in the metal rack, and they're very fragile. When I talk to our community members about not putting them in the rack, they say they are too delicate to use. Why do we even have them? Suzuki Roshi had the same problem with the teacups in his own Zen center. A student complained to Suzuki about the cups. He smiled and said, "You don't know how to handle them. You have to adjust yourself to the environment, not vice versa." You have to adjust yourself to the environment, not vice versa. That really stayed with me. because it ties with our class last week on distractions and not being able to control the environment around us. In case you don't remember, let me just remind you of it. Last week I spoke of what to do when emotional reactions arise based on the changing environment, about the doggy being loud, barking, about the neighbors being loud, about the phone breaking, which by the way, my phone is okay now, because a couple of you asked. And so it really talked about, if I cannot control the environment, then how can I have peace, right? When I encounter whatever those noises are or distractions are. And so this quote really stayed with me for that reason. It is not the environment that is to change, it's I am to change. So what are the tools that can be explored with that? One is acceptance, as I mentioned at the beginning of our session. There are many ways of describing acceptance. Allowing what shows up to be, welcoming what is here, not resisting what shows up. So I practiced it this morning when I was cleaning up. I normally, put my doggy in different rooms as I'm cleaning through my space. I didn't this time. I let him just be and walk around as I clean the floor. And so I began to adjust myself to the environment, not the other way around. And so there were moments when it got a bit uncomfortable. He would try to lick the floor. And so I just kind of moved around him like a dance and allowed what showed up to be. There were moments of barking to the people outside, moments of trying to lick what I was cleaning. And so I want to talk a little bit about what that process was like. So going back to what we had spoken about last week, when the emotions arise, to notice them as they show up, right? So there was the emotion of, I want him to be safe. The emotion and the thought, excuse me, of I want him to be safe. I don't want him to lick the floor, right? And the emotion of that, like wanting to protect him or to make sure he's okay. So just kind of washing that, and how can I adjust myself to the environment? How can I still, how can I trust that he knows what is best for him, which is very interesting. His taste buds will let him know, don't do that. And they did. And so can I just adjust myself to the environment without fighting what is? Let me give you another example. When I walked him this morning, the sky was beautiful. There was a beautiful sunrise. And so just allowing the sunrise in, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, it started raining. So then as I felt the rain, how can I adjust to the rain without creating a whole story in my mind about the rain? About like, oh my God, my hair is going to get messed up. To give you an example. I don't want his paws to get wet. And so can I allow what shows up and find a way to make peace with it? And making peace is a journey, and it is important not to judge it either. At that moment, my instinct was, oh, let me walk and just kind of make peace with the rain as, the rain is here. No, it started raining really pouring. So I just ran. I ran with him. And so afterwards, I was like, oh man, maybe I lost the opportunity, to like really adjust to the environment. No, that was my way of adjusting to the environment in that moment. And so can I make peace with that? So even in the learning of the lesson, there I go trying to make it perfect or trying to make it be more than what it is. Whatever moment shows up today, throughout this week, how can I make peace with the environment that is around me and the things that show up as they are? One of the invitations is to become aware of presence and awareness. So what do I mean by that? We've been speaking of in previous classes of the observer. And it's a space behind the thoughts, a space that holds all emotions and the whole inner experience within you. I like to give this example of it. If you've ever noticed, if you are sad, there's a part of you that isn't. If you've ever noticed yourself being upset or screaming at somebody or um, arguing with someone, and noticing this part of you in the background, simply observing what you're doing. That's the observer. That's the presence. That's been called by many names, the soul, the energy that holds all things. It is you. The broader, larger dimension of who you are is this presence, out of which all can be known and all can be experienced, including a great amount of peace and calm. That is the space that I want us to explore today. And the more you practice encountering that space, the more you can live from there. So it is now, even before we jump into meditation, just noticing yourself and any thoughts that might be occurring in this moment with your eyes open. The way that you are receiving sense information through your hearing or your sight. And step back. Step back and notice who's observing. Where are the thoughts coming from? Who is the thinker of the thoughts? And who is watching what is occurring in this moment? You may also notice your body as you breathe. And the energy that flows inside the body as you sit or lay. Sensing that energy. And you may notice it's a space that is more calm or quiet or still. And the more we practice it, the more we encounter it. So this is the space that we're going to explore in our meditation today. I want to give you the experience also of doing this exercise with your eyes open. So catch yourself throughout the day when you are observing something. Who's the watcher of what is being observed? Who's observing you as you observe? When you are listening to something, notice the part of you that is hearing, that is listening. Notice the part of you that is broader and actually holds all that is being heard and said. Sounds good. So we'll begin our meditation today. I believe that the more we let go of resisting what is, the more distractions are no longer as potent. For example, you might be in the meditation and notice the sound of the air conditioning or the sound of a loud car or motorcycle passing by. And perhaps you might consider that as a distraction since it takes you from a pleasant experience in meditation. But what if I could just welcome it in? I could just allow whatever shows up to be here. In the state of presence, there is a sense of non-judgment. And why is that? Because it is a space that the more you encounter, you'll begin to notice it's nonverbal. It is the space from which words arise. It just observes, it's just this. It is a state of presence, of simply observing, of being, of being. And I often have difficulty, quite frankly, describing it with words. And so I like to lead you to that experience more than to teach it by words, because it's very similar to me to love. Those of you that know me, I love to write poetry and read poetry. And more than anything, because so many authors and writers and artists try to define something that is beyond words. It's an experience of, like this morning, when I opened up my bedroom window, noticing the sunrise, because I slept in a little bit. Noticing the moment when the sun touched the horizon. And I said, what a gift that was. How do I describe that? Other than holding it. And so they're precious moments of awareness. Like in that moment, being aware of the part of me observing the sunrise. And can I hold a moment of a distraction in that same sacred way? In that same fulfilling way? And the answer is yes. If I allow my heart to open in the awareness of presence, in the awareness of this part of me observing what shows up, then I can experience that sense of deep pleasance. Even a loud noise like a motorcycle passing by very loudly can be pleasurable in a state like that. And if presence sometimes sounds abstract, it's because it is beyond words. That's why there are so many authors of mindfulness books and meditation books trying to define this undefinable thing, which in truth is your own experience with grace, with the great divine universe, with the great presence and awareness that is here, that connects all things. In truth, you are never separate from that greater sense of awareness. Often reminds me of Rumi when he says we are a drop from the ocean, and the ocean within a drop. It never leaves, it is always here. So let's explore it. So find a comfortable position, whether laying down or sitting. And you may want to keep the eyes open or closed, it's up to you. If you decide to keep them open, I invite you to place the attention on what is called drishti. Drishti is a single point of attention. So actually, whether you keep your eyes closed, so let me begin with the meditation instructions for today. First, finding a comfortable position, whether sitting or laying down. And afterwards, locating a drishti, which is a place of attention and awareness, conscious attention and awareness. So if I decide to keep my eyes open, finding a gentle spot that is close and comfortable enough that my eyes can be relaxed as they are opened. And if you decide to close the eyes, I invite you to consider the drishti being the heart. So either placing one hand on the heart so that you can feel the touch of the hand on the chest, or placing the hand on top of your thighs, or on the sides of the body if you're laying down, and placing the attention on the palms, allowing that to be the drishti, the focal point of attention. Yeah. So as we go through the guidance of the meditation today, always coming back to that space where you lose your journey. Okay. Think of it like the wheel of a car, always coming back to that so that you know where to go. Okay. So we'll begin. So allowing the eyes or the sense to rest in your drishti. Allowing the body to settle. Noticing what is here. As this moment shows up. Noticing your body breathing. The way the breath flows through the whole body. The experience of breathing in this moment. Noticing where the breath arises and where it falls. And noticing any sense of anticipation or waiting for the next words, allowing that to relax. Noticing through the exhale a sense of letting go, a sense of welcoming the moment as it shows up. And becoming aware of the part of you observing this moment, sensing this moment. And noticing your drishti, and the way the breath comes in and out of the body. You may notice any thoughts, and observing the space between the thoughts. Observing the space between the thoughts, behind the thoughts. Noticing the energy within the body as you notice the place where the breath enters and exits the body. And sensing yourself grounded as you place your attention gently on your drishti. If the eyes are open, gently resting the eyes as you observe, allowing yourself to relax as you breathe, and simply observe from the place of the observer within you. If your drishti is the palms of the hands, allowing yourself to sense the sensations of the palms of the hands. And perhaps whether with the eyes opened or closed, sensing right now the fingers, the spaces between the fingers, the warmth of the hand. Do the hands feel light or heavy? And sensing a sense of groundedness in the hands, a sense of stability. And becoming aware of your heart as you breathe, of the soft space within the heart. Perhaps recalling a moment of pleasantness this week, a moment when the heart felt open and less resistant. And noticing the sensations of the hands, and the way the eyes rest as they observe the one spot. Allowing the breath to flow gently and calmly as you feel the center of the heart. The gentleness within you. Observing, what does gentleness feel like? What does calm feel like? And sensing the part of you observing, the part of you sensing. Sensing the warmth of the hand or the groundedness of the hands. The part of you sensing the steadiness, the eyes, the calm of the eyes. And sensing the space within the inhales and the exhales. And sensing the part of you observing you breathe, sensing you breathe. Observing the rise and fall of the breath. Noticing the way the breath comes in and out of the body. Noticing the sensations of the hands. Noticing the gentleness of the eyes as they rest on one single point of attention. And noticing the part of you noticing you right now. The space behind the thinker. Noticing the space behind the thinker. Noticing the way the space around you holds you. Way the air or the space around you feels around your skin. Noticing the silence between sounds. The space between the breath. And sensing yourself surrendering every time. More and more as you notice the space that holds you. The space that holds the breath. The space that holds the hands. The space that holds you as you sit or lay. Feeling and surrendering into it. Observing the silence. Sensing the silence. Allowing the silence to be here. Noticing the part of you aware, present, quiet, and still. Sensing the part of you observing this moment, aware of you as you sit or lay in this moment, the present. And allowing that space to remain here as you become aware of the palms of the hands, bringing a deeper sense of aliveness, of gentle wakefulness. As you begin to enter this moment once more, sensing the body here, that inner space of presence here. Gently observing the part that thinks and feels and senses and hears. And maintaining that calm awareness of presence here. Allowing all that is here to be, including the gentle return to the now moment. Resisting nothing. Gently beginning to move the fingers, the toes, and gently opening the eyes, coming back into this present moment as you take a deep, gentle, soothing inhale and exhaling completely out. Coming back into the now. And as you feel ready, returning completely. And either going about your day or returning back to sleep if you are hearing this in the evening. Thanking yourself for showing up. And if you like, going ahead and writing down your experience or simply holding the awareness of what you encountered in today's meditation. And allowing it first to settle in, receiving the fruits of your practice. And perhaps just like fruit, sharing what you would like with the group as you're ready. And if you would like to share, I invite you to unmute yourself. Um, if you like. So who would like to share their experience? Hi.
Hello.
Hi, Melinda. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. Go ahead. Please share.
I found it difficult for a large part of the meditation to get out of my head. Like I felt a lot of my tension was like literally in my head. Um,
Can you describe what you mean by that a little bit? What
yeah,
is
like it felt like more focused, like in my mind. like my mind was more, I don't know how to explain it, like all of my like attention or awareness was focused in my head versus like in my heart. Um, and I don't know if that's like I think it like has to do with like how I am like more so every day is just like more in my head than being in my heart, or at least that. And so it was, and I felt like I couldn't, or I didn't allow myself to like relax and be in the present moment. Like I feel like I always have to be on or something like that. I don't know if that makes sense, but like
I love your, I'm not sure if it's a question or a comment, but let me jump in if that's
with
okay.
my okay.
Is that okay? So a couple of observations on what you mentioned. Being in the head versus the heart. Can I allow what shows up in today's meditation to be as it is without resisting it? Simply allowing if my awareness in this moment wants to travel through the head, let it be all right to be there. Let it be all right to notice the tension or to notice the awareness in that space to be. And what begins to occur, or at least may occur, um, is the sense of relaxing into it. And as we allow ourselves to relax into it, the experience may shift, or it may not. But you can choose whatever the encounter is to encounter it with more peace or ease, more gentleness, more kindness. And so in this moment, as you're hearing me, also allowing what is being heard to just enter in a sense of gentleness and calmness, and perhaps bringing that same invitation throughout this day. The other observation I would like to make about what you're mentioning is this. If I've been running a marathon, okay, and I sit down to meditate, I'm going to feel agitated. My body's going to be moving fast, right? My breathing is going to be intense. So the dust needs to settle. When we enter meditation, the dust begins to settle. So if you could perhaps consider this, if I am made of energy and my energy has been very busy the whole day thinking or going through the motions of the motions of the day is what I will first encounter, that energy. And as I sit down, it begins to just calm, begins to center. And as the dust settles, perhaps I can enter the heart, or perhaps I can stay in the mind and feel quite comfortable there as well. Make sense?
Makes sense, yes, because I think I felt like I was forcing myself, like I have to be relaxed meditating,
I
and I couldn't.
love that.
So
Yes. So do you remember what I mentioned last week about our expectations, how we enter moments with a sense of expectation?
yeah.
Well, can I drop that when I encounter meditation? Can I just show up with what is? I
Mhm.
showed up today. I had a whole bunch of notes. I didn't even look at my notes. After a while, that's the practice for me as a teacher, to just show up and be like, let me just practice even as I teach. And so at first you'll hear me and I'll sound a little wiggly and a little like, what is she saying? What's going on? And as we enter, then the dust settles and I allow the presence within us here, within me, within you, within us here, guide. Because that's really what it is about.
Mm.
Does that make sense?
Yes, definitely.
Good. And thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you. I'd like you to raise your hands if you don't mind, so that I see, because there were a couple of people that were at the same time. Um, yeah, I think it was Cece's turn. Hi, Cece.
Hi, Anna.
Hi.
It was what happened to me is normally when I'm not meditating, but when I'm thinking about a problem or a solution of a problem, I always go both sides, the negative if it goes wrong and the positive solution, both of them, both extremes to figure out, okay, plan A and B. But in the meditation, all the things that are in my mind this week, they all came but so peacefully they easily resolve in peace. So
Yes.
they came the best possible solution only, nothing else, and it was a complete peace.
Oh, thank you so much for sharing that. Like I am, if I want to add to that. Remember what I was just saying to Melinda about the dust settling?
Mm-hmm.
When the dust settles, I'm able to see the observer. I'm able to experience the presence. I'm able to see the answers. So all the thinking and the emotions and the like, I have to figure this out. I have to do the perfect meditation. I gotta like try and strive and make it happen. When that all settles, it happens. It just kind of fits. You know, like a jigsaw puzzle. It just kind of finds its place. So same thing with the answer is always there. Usually it comes from this space of silence and this space of intuitive knowing, instinct, wisdom within you. And then the mind tries to figure it out. Yes, but, and that, and okay, and settle. And then watch what happens. Thank you so much for sharing that, Cece.
Thank
That is
you.
so on point. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have the space for one more, I think.
Hello.
Yes, Katrina?
Yes, may I share?
Yes, please. Yeah, I think
Good
that was you
morning.
next because I saw a couple, there were like 5 of you raised at the same time, so it's kind of hard to see who was next. Hi, Katrina. Hi.
Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
We have 3-hour difference between Miami and the West Coast. I'm in California. So the meditation is 11 a.m. Miami, mine is 8 a.m. But this morning, I woke up an hour earlier. I'm like,
Wow.
I'm not waking up an hour earlier. But I went with it. I'm like, it's okay. And I didn't know why until you started our meditation. And if you allow me, I would like to read something for everyone.
Yes, please. Just make sure to confirm the author and where it was written from.
Oh, I don't have an author, but it's called the I Am the Soul.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so it says, I am the soul. I am not the body. I am not the emotion. I am not the thought. I am not the mind. The mind is just a subtle instrument of the soul. I am the soul. I am a spiritual being of divine intelligence, divine love, and divine power. I am one with my highest soul. I am that I am. I am one with the divine spark within me. I am a child of God. I am connected with God. I am one with God. I am one with all.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much for sharing. That is so powerful.
Right?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
exactly what you said. Who is behind observing me, my
Yes.
thought?
That I am, that I am. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
yes, it came to me this morning, so I thought I wanted to share that it was exactly what your teaching was this morning, and we're so appreciative to
Oh,
you.
thank you so much for saying that. And thank you for sharing it. I was kind of just absorbing it. Um, the sorry, you guys. I try to spotlight who's talking at the same time. I'm still trying to figure out Zoom. Thank you so much for sharing that, Katrina. I was absorbing what you were saying. I love that particularly because of this, because it brings the sense of I am. One of the homeworks I left you with last week was to explore who am I? Who am I? And so it's an exploration that can last a lifetime. Discovery, a journey of discovery that can be quite enjoyable. And so I encourage you to explore that. There is this presence within you that holds all things, that is silent, that is calm, that is the eye of the storm. Can you find that space for yourself? In any moment. Can I find that space of presence when I am sad or I am grieving or I am upset? Can I see whatever the experience might be through the eyes of that I am, through the eyes of the observer, the one that is thinking the thoughts, the one that is experiencing the emotions, the one that is here, always present and never leaves. We will continue in the next weeks to come to explore this. This is what I find is at the heart of meditation, at least for me and the way I teach. It is this place of presence that is hard to define, but we can try. I invite you to consider the following for this week. Can I encounter my life and all the various experiences that I might have through the days to come from a sense of presence from my heart? And if I am in my mind thinking, can I find the presence within the mind? The space between the thoughts, the thinker of the thoughts, the one that speaks. Can I slow down enough to allow that part of me to be? I am grateful to all of you for showing up every Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. It is a great gift to me to see each of you, and I wish I had more time to hear you all today. But as you know, I like to honor your time as well as mine and on time. I send you all many blessings. Be kind and patient with yourselves. These are transformative times. Allow yourself to be transformed, to remember who you are, and to be a center of peace for yourself and for others. I send you all my love.
Thank you.
Have a beautiful week. Thank you.
Have a blessed Sunday, everyone.
Thank
As
you,
well.
you too. And have a magical one, like Katrina said last time.
Oh,
Thanks.
always magical.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.